Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to Real Estate Exam USA. So today we are covering taxes real estate practice exam. This exam consists of 100 questions with explained answers. Each questions will have 4 options. So make sure you select the correct options. And before the correct answer is revealed, take a moment and think for the correct answer. I hope this practice test will help you to pass your actual real exam. So without wasting time, let's get into it.
Which state agency licenses and regulates real estate professionals in Texas? A. Texas Real Estate Board. B. Texas Real Estate Commission. C. Texas Department of Commerce. D. Texas Bureau of Realty. The correct answer is B. Texas Real Estate Commission. TREC, the Texas Real Estate Commission, is the state agency responsible for licensing brokers, sales agents, inspectors, and easement agents and enforcing real estate law in Texas. How many hours of TREC-approved pre-licensing education must a sales agent applicant complete? A. 90 hours. B. 120 hours. C. 150 hours. D. 180 hours. The correct answer is D. 180 hours. Texas requires 180 hours of qualifying education across 6 30-hour courses. Principles 1 and 2, Law of Agency, Law of Contracts, Promulgated Contracts, and Real Estate Finance. What is the minimum age to obtain a Texas real estate sales agent license? A. 16, B. 17, C. 18, D. 21. The correct answer is C. 18 years. Applicants must be at least 18 years old, a U.S. citizen or lawfully admitted alien, and meet TREC's standards of honesty and integrity. Texas real estate sales agent licenses must be renewed every A. 1 year, B. 2 years, C. 3 years, D. 4 years. The correct answer is B. 2 years. Sales agent and broker licenses in Texas are renewed on a 2-year cycle. The first renewal has additional post-licensing education requirements. How many CE hours are required per Texas license renewal cycle? A. 12 hours. B. 15 hours. C. 18 hours. D. 24 hours. The correct answer is C. 18 hours. Texas requires 18 hours of continuing education per 2-year renewal cycle, including mandatory legal update and ethics courses set by TREC. How many years of active experience as a sales agent must an applicant have before applying for a Texas broker license? A. 1 year. B. 2 years. C. 4 years. D. 5 years. The correct answer is C. 4 years. Texas requires at least 4 years of active full-time experience as a licensed agent within the 5 years preceding the broker application, plus 900 hours of qualifying courses. Commingling a client's earnest money with a broker's personal bank account is A. Acceptable if disclosed, B. A minor TREC violation, C. A serious violation that can lead to license revocation, D. Required for small brokerages. The correct answer is C. A serious violation that can lead to license revocation. Commingling, mixing client trust funds with personal or business funds, is a serious breach of fiduciary and legal duty TREC can suspend or revoke a license and refer the matter for criminal prosecution. A sales agent on inactive license status may legally A. Show homes for their broker. B. Collect referral fees. C. Perform no real estate activities for compensation. D. Work for another broker without sponsorship. The correct answer is C. Perform no real estate activities for compensation. An inactive licensee may not engage in any real estate brokerage activity for compensation until the license is reactivated with an active sponsoring broker. Which of the following must be submitted with a Texas real estate license application? A. A recent photograph. B. A financial statement. C. Fingerprints for a background check. D. A letter of recommendation. The correct answer is C. Fingerprints for a background check. TREC requires all license applicants to submit fingerprints, so a background check can be conducted through the Texas Department of Public Safety and the FBI. A Texas sales agent may only perform real estate activities under the supervision of A. TREC directly, B. Any licensed broker in any state, C. A licensed Texas broker who sponsors them, D. A licensed attorney. The correct answer is C. A licensed Texas broker who sponsors them. A sales agent must be sponsored by a licensed Texas broker at all times. The broker is responsible for the agent's real estate activities. Under TREC rules, when must a real estate broker deposit a buyer's earnest money into a trust account? A. By close of business on the second working day. B. Within 1 business day. C. By closing. D. Within 3 business days. The correct answer is A. By close of business on the second working day. Texas law and TREC rules require that a broker deposit money received in a real estate transaction into a trust or escrow account no later than the close of business of the second working day. Which TREC promulgated form is used for most residential resale transactions in Texas? A. TREC Form 1-4. B. TREC 1-4 Family Residential Contract. C. Texas Residential Lease Agreement. D. TREC Farm and Ranch Contract. The correct answer is B. TREC 1-4 Family Residential Contract. TREC's 1-4 Family Residential Contract is the standard form required by TREC rules for most residential resale transactions involving 1-4 family dwellings. In Texas, when a single broker represents both buyer and seller in the same transaction, the broker acts as an A. Dual agent, B. Universal agent, C. Intermediary, D. Cooperating agent. The correct answer is C. Intermediary. Texas uses the term intermediary rather than dual agent. Written consent from both parties is required. The intermediary broker must treat both parties impartially and cannot advocate for one over the other. Which acronym best summarizes an agent's fiduciary duties to their client? A. TREC, B. OLDCAR, C. RESPA, D. FNMA. The correct answer is B. OLDCAR. Obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting, reasonable care. The 6 fiduciary duties an agent owes their client under Texas agency law. The Texas Information About Brokerage Services form must be provided. A. Only at closing. B. At the first substantive communication about real estate needs. C. Only when a listing is signed. D. Only when asked by the client. The correct answer is B. At the first substantive communication about real estate needs. TREC rules require agents to provide the IABS notice at the first substantive communication, whether in person, by phone, mail, or electronically, about a client's specific real estate needs. A buyer's representation agreement creates what type of agency? A. General agency. B. Universal agency. C. Special agency. D. Subagency. The correct answer is C. Special agency. A buyer's rep creates a special agency. The agent is authorized to act for the buyer for a specific transaction only. Agreement not for all matters. In Texas, a subagent represents A. The buyer exclusively. B. The seller through another broker. C. Both parties as intermediary. D. The listing broker's office only. The correct answer is B. The seller through another broker. A subagent is a licensee who works with a buyer but owes fiduciary duties to the seller's listing broker. Subagency is rare in Texas today because most buyers sign buyer representation agreements. A seller's agent must disclose to the buyer A. The seller's bottom line price. B. Confidential seller motivations. C. Known material defects in the property. D. The seller's financial situation. The correct answer is C. Known material defects in the property. An agent has a duty to disclose all known material defects to the buyer, even while representing the seller. Concealing material defects is fraud and a TREC violation. Which of the following would not automatically terminate an agency relationship in Texas? A. Death of the principal. B. Completion of the transaction. C. A market decline in property value. D. Mutual agreement to cancel. The correct answer is C. A market decline in property value. Agency is terminated by death or incapacity of either party, completion of the task, mutual agreement, expiration of the agreement, or breach. A market decline does not terminate agency. An agent's duty of loyalty to their client means A. Always getting the highest commission. B. Putting the client's interests above the agent's own interests. C. Sharing client information with all parties. D. Refusing to negotiate with the other side. The correct answer is B. Putting the client's interests above the agent's own interests. The duty of loyalty requires the agent to act in the client's best interest at all times, including not placing their own financial interests or a third party's interests above those of the client.
The correct answer is B. Putting the client's interests above the agent's own interests. The duty of loyalty requires the agent to act in the client's best interest at all times, including not placing their own financial interests or a third party's interests above those of the client.
After a listing agreement expires, how long does an agent's duty of confidentiality to their former client last? A. 30 days. B. 6 months. C. 1 year. D. Indefinitely. The correct answer is D. Indefinitely. The duty of confidentiality survives the agency relationship. An agent may never disclose a former client's confidential information, such as their motivation to sell or minimum acceptable price, even after the relationship ends. An exclusive right to sell listing in Texas guarantees the listing broker a commission if the property sells during the listing period, even if A. The property sells below list price. The seller procures the buyer themselves. C. The market value declines. D. The buyer is represented by another agent. The correct answer is B. The seller procures the buyer themselves. Under an exclusive right to sell listing, the broker earns a commission regardless of who finds the buyer, even if the seller sells it themselves. Which is not a required element of a valid real estate contract in Texas. A. Offer and acceptance. B. Consideration. C. Notarization. D. Competent parties. The correct answer is C. Notarization. A valid contract requires offer and acceptance, consideration, competent parties, legal purpose, and for real estate, must be in writing. Notarization is not required for contract validity. Under the statute of frauds, real estate contracts in Texas must be A. Notarized. B. In writing and signed. C. Approved by TREC. D. Witnessed by two parties. The correct answer is B. In writing and signed. The statute of frauds requires contracts for the sale of real property to be in writing and signed by the party to be charged. Oral real estate contracts are generally unenforceable. In a Texas residential sale, earnest money is typically held by A. The buyer's lender, B. TREC, C. A title company or the listing broker, D. The county clerk. The correct answer is C. A title company or the listing broker. Earnest money is held in an escrow or trust account by a neutral third party, most commonly the title company in Texas, until closing or termination of the contract. The option period in a Texas purchase contract gives the buyer the right to A. Extend the closing date. B. Terminate for any reason and recover earnest money. C. Lower the purchase price unilaterally. D. Assign the contract without seller consent. The correct answer is B. Terminate for any reason and recover earnest money. The unrestricted right to terminate allows the buyer to exit the contract for any reason and get a full earnest money refund. In exchange, the buyer pays a non-refundable option fee to the seller. A contract signed by a minor in Texas is A. Void and unenforceable. B. Voidable at the minor's option. C. Automatically valid. D. Legal only if parents co-sign. The correct answer is B. Voidable at the minor's option. A contract signed by a minor is voidable. The minor can choose to affirm or disaffirm the contract. However, the other adult party cannot use the minority as a defense to void the contract. A financing contingency primarily protects A. The seller if the buyer's lender fails. B. The buyer if they cannot obtain financing. C. The broker's commission. D. The title company's escrow. The correct answer is B. The buyer if they cannot obtain financing. A financing contingency allows the buyer to terminate the contract and recover their earnest money if they cannot obtain loan approval on the terms stated in the contract. If a seller defaults on a valid Texas real estate contract, the buyer may A. Only accept a refund of earnest money. B. Sue for specific performance or damages. C. File a complaint with TREC only. D. Renegotiate the option period. The correct answer is B. Sue for specific performance or damages. When a party defaults, the non-defaulting party may seek specific performance, court order to complete the sale, monetary damages, or both? Which type of contract is not assignable without consent of all parties? A. Purchase contracts for vacant land. B. Option contracts. C. Personal service contracts. D. Commercial lease assignments. The correct answer is C. Personal service contracts. Personal service contracts involving specific skills or personal relationships are generally not assignable without consent because they involve the unique abilities or trust of the parties. TREC rules require licensed agents to use TREC promulgated contract forms. A. Only for new construction. B. For all residential transactions unless an exception applies. C. Only if the client requests them. D. Only when the transaction exceeds $500,000. The correct answer is B. For all residential transactions unless an exception applies. Texas law requires licensees to use TREC promulgated forms when available. Exceptions exist when a party is represented by an attorney or when no TREC form is applicable. A time is of the essence clause in a contract means: A. The contract has an accelerated closing. B. All deadlines are strictly enforced. C. The price must be paid immediately. D. An attorney must review within 24 hours. The correct answer is B. All deadlines are strictly enforced. A time is of the essence clause makes all contractual deadlines strict. Missing a deadline is a material breach of contract, not merely a technical violation. When a seller changes the purchase price on a buyer's offer and returns it, this creates A. A binding contract. B. A counteroffer that voids the original offer. C. A backup contract. D. An addendum. The correct answer is B. A counteroffer that voids the original offer. A counteroffer is a rejection of the original offer combined with a new offer. The original offer is legally terminated when a counteroffer is made. In a real estate contract, the buyer's consideration is typically A. The agent's commission. B. The title policy premium. C. The purchase price. D. The earnest money alone. The correct answer is C. The purchase price. Consideration is what each party gives in exchange. The buyer's consideration is the purchase price and the seller's consideration is the deed conveying the property. Texas is a community property state. Which of the following is most likely classified as separate property? A. Income earned during marriage. B. Home bought with marital funds. C. Inheritance received during marriage. D. Car purchased jointly during marriage. The correct answer is C. Inheritance received during marriage. Separate property includes property owned before marriage and property received by one spouse as a gift or inheritance during the marriage, even if the marriage continues. The key distinguishing feature of joint tenancy versus tenancy in common is: A. Joint tenants may own unequal shares. B. Joint tenancy includes right of survivorship. C. Joint tenancy requires government approval. D. Joint tenancy applies only to married couples. The correct answer is B. Joint tenancy includes right of survivorship. Right of survivorship means that when one joint tenant dies, their share automatically passes to the surviving joint tenant, bypassing probate. Which deed type provides the broadest protection to the buyer? warranting against all title defects, including those from before the seller's ownership. A. Quitclaim deed. B. Special warranty deed. C. General warranty deed. D. Trustee's deed. The correct answer is C. General warranty deed. A general warranty deed includes covenants of season, quiet enjoyment, further assurance, and warranty forever, protecting the buyer against any and all title defects, regardless of when they arose. A quitclaim deed is best used to A. Transfer a home with full warranty. B. Release any interest a grantor may hold in a property. C. Foreclose on a property. D. Create a mortgage lien. The correct answer is B. Release any interest a grantor may hold in a property. A quitclaim deed conveys whatever interest the grantor has with no warranties. It is commonly used to clear title clouds, correct errors, or transfer property between family members. In Texas, the standard statutory period for adverse possession is A. 3 years, B. 5 years, C. 10 years, D. 25 years. The correct answer is C. 10 years. The general adverse possession statute in Texas requires 10 years of open, notorious, continuous, hostile, and exclusive possession without the owner's permission. Which of the following is an example of a voluntary lien? A. Property tax lien. B. Mechanics lien. C. Mortgage deed of trust lien. D. Judgment lien. The correct answer is C. Mortgage deed of trust lien. A mortgage or deed of trust lien is voluntarily granted by the property owner to a lender as security for the loan. Tax, mechanics, and judgment liens are involuntary. A utility company has the legal right to access and maintain power lines across your property. This is an example of A. Adverse possession, B. Encroachment, C. An easement, D. A deed restriction. The correct answer is C. An easement. An easement is the legal right to use another's property for a specific purpose. A utility easement allows the company to access your land for infrastructure without owning it. A neighbor's fence is built 2 feet over the property line onto your land. This is called A. An easement, B. An encroachment, C. Adverse possession, D. A deed restriction. The correct answer is B. An encroachment. An encroachment is when a structure or improvement extends beyond its legal boundary onto another's property. It can be discovered through a survey and may be resolved by removal or a written easement. Owner's title insurance primarily protects the buyer from A. Physical damage to the home, B. Future zoning changes, C. Past title defects and claims, D. The lender's loss on default. The correct answer is C. Past title defects and claims. Owner's title insurance protects the buyer from financial loss due to title defects that existed before the purchase, such as undisclosed liens, forgery, errors in public records, or unknown heirs. Recording a deed in the county clerk's records accomplishes which of the following? A. Creates a mortgage lien. B. Provides constructive notice to the public of the transfer. C. Eliminates the need for title insurance. D. Transfers legal title to the buyer. The correct answer is B. Provides constructive notice to the public of the transfer. Recording a deed gives constructive notice. Legally, the public is presumed to know about the recorded transfer. Recording protects the buyer against subsequent claims from others. Under Texas law, a homestead designation on a primary residence A. Eliminates all property taxes. B. Reduces the taxable assessed value and protects against forced sale for most debts. C. Prevents the owner from selling the property. D. Requires TREC approval. The correct answer is B. Reduces the taxable assessed value and protects against forced sale for most debts. Texas homestead protection reduces property taxes by exempting a portion of the home's value from taxation. It also provides strong protection against forced sale by general creditors, though mortgage and tax liens are exceptions. Which of the following is not a protected class under the Federal Fair Housing Act? A. Race. B. Religion. C. Marital status. D. National origin. The correct answer is C. Marital status. The 7 federally protected classes are race, color, religion, sex, national origin, familial status, and disability. Marital status is not federally protected, though some states include it. Directing buyers of a particular ethnicity toward or away from specific neighborhoods is the illegal practice known as A. Redlining, B. Blockbusting, C. Steering, D. Puffing. The correct answer is C. Steering. Steering is guiding potential buyers or renters based on protected characteristics. Even if well-intentioned, steering violates the Fair Housing Act. Inducing homeowners to sell by warning them that people of a protected class are moving into the neighborhood is called A. Redlining, B. Steering, C. Blockbusting, D. Puffing. The correct answer is C. Blockbusting. Blockbusting is the illegal practice of inducing panic-driven sales by suggesting that protected class residents moving in will lower property values. A lender refuses to make loans in a neighborhood based on its racial composition. This is called A. Steering, B. Blockbusting, C. Redlining, D. Puffing. The correct answer is C. Redlining. Redlining is denying or limiting financial services based on a neighborhood's racial or ethnic composition. It is illegal under the Fair Housing Act and the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Which property sale may qualify for a Fair Housing Act exemption? A. A fourplex listed through an MLS broker. B. An owner-occupied duplex sold by a broker. C. A FSBO single-family home with no discriminatory advertising and no broker involvement. D. A 5-unit apartment complex. The correct answer is C. FSBO single-family home with no discriminatory advertising and no broker involvement. The Fair Housing Act has a narrow FSBO exemption. An individual owner selling their own single-family home without a broker and without discriminatory advertising or statements is exempt. The Americans with Disabilities Act primarily applies to A. Residential rentals, B. Single-family homes, C. Places of public accommodation and commercial facilities, D. Owner-occupied duplexes. The correct answer is C. Places of public accommodation and commercial facilities. ADA applies to places of public accommodation and commercial facilities. The Fair Housing Act covers reasonable accommodations for disabled tenants in residential settings. A disabled tenant requests permission to install grab bars in the bathroom of a rental unit. The landlord should A. Refuse because it alters the unit. B. Allow it as a reasonable modification at the tenant's expense. Key. Require the tenant to move to an accessible unit. D. Contact TREC for approval. The correct answer is B. Allow it as a reasonable modification at the tenant's expense. Under the Fair Housing Act, landlords must allow disabled tenants to make reasonable modifications to the unit to accommodate their disability, and may require restoration upon move-out. Which of the following is an example of discriminatory advertising under the Fair Housing Act? A. 3-bed, 2-bath home, great schools. B. Ideal for families near great churches. C. Must-see, quiet neighborhood. D. Motivated seller, price to sell. The correct answer is B. Ideal for families near great churches. Advertising that expresses a preference for certain religious groups violates the Fair Housing Act. All advertisements must be neutral regarding protected characteristics. In a Texas mortgage transaction, the document evidencing the borrower's personal promise to repay the debt is the A. Deed of trust, B. General warranty deed, C. Promissory note, D. Satisfaction of mortgage. The correct answer is C. Promissory note. The promissory note is the borrower's written, personal promise to repay the loan under specified terms. The deed of trust is the security instrument pledging the property as collateral. Texas uses deeds of trust instead of traditional mortgages. A deed of trust involves how many parties? A. 1, B. 2, C. 3, D. 4. The correct answer is C. 3. A deed of trust involves 3 parties: the borrower, the lender, and a neutral third-party trustee who holds legal title until the loan is paid off. One major advantage of a deed of trust over a traditional mortgage is A. Lower interest rates. B. Non-judicial foreclosure is available, making the process faster. C. The borrower keeps the title immediately. D. No down payment is required. The correct answer is B. Non-judicial foreclosure is available, making the process faster. With a deed of trust, the trustee can foreclose non-judicially without going to court if the borrower defaults, which is faster and less expensive than judicial foreclosure required under a traditional mortgage. A fully amortized loan means A. Only interest is paid monthly. B. The loan balance grows over time. C. Regular payments of principal and interest fully pay off the loan by maturity. D. A large balloon payment is required at the end. The correct answer is C. Regular payments of principal and interest fully pay off the loan by maturity. In a fully amortized loan, each equal monthly payment covers both interest and principal, so the balance reaches 0 on the final payment date. An FHA loan differs from a conventional loan primarily because A. It carries a guaranteed fixed rate. B. It requires no closing costs. C. It is government insured, allowing lower down payments and credit scores. D. It is only for first-time buyers. The correct answer is C. It is government insured, allowing lower down payments and credit scores. FHA loans are insured by the Federal Housing Administration, which reduces lender risk and allows buyers with lower credit scores, as low as 580, and smaller down payments as low as 3.5% to qualify. Which of the following is a key benefit of a VA loan for eligible veterans? A. Interest is tax-free. B. No down payment required in most cases. C. Available to all U.S. citizens. D. The VA covers all closing costs. The correct answer is B. No down payment required in most cases. VA loans, guaranteed by the Department of Veterans Affairs, allow eligible veterans, service members, and surviving spouses to purchase a home with no down payment in most cases, and with no private mortgage insurance. Private mortgage insurance is typically required when A. The loan-to-value ratio exceeds 80%. B. The buyer has a credit score above 750. C. The property is a new construction. D. The purchase price exceeds $500,000. The correct answer is A. The loan-to-value ratio exceeds 80%. PMI is required on conventional loans when the buyer makes less than a 20% down payment, LTV greater than 80%. It protects the lender, not the borrower, if the borrower defaults. 1 discount point on a mortgage loan equals A. 1% of the loan amount, B. $1,000 regardless of loan size, C. 1% of the purchase price, D. 0.5% of the loan amount. The correct answer is A. 1% of the loan amount. 1 discount point equals 1% of the loan amount paid up front to reduce the interest rate. Points are prepaid interest and may be tax deductible. A loan's annual percentage rate is typically higher than the stated interest rate because it A. Includes the property tax estimate, B. Reflects the true cost of borrowing including fees and points, C. Is set by the federal government, D. Includes homeowners insurance premium. The correct answer is B. Reflects the true cost of borrowing including fees and points. APR incorporates the interest rate plus loan origination fees, discount points, and other finance charges into one annualized figure, giving borrowers a true cost comparison across loan offers. An adjustable rate mortgage is best described as A. A loan with a fixed payment for the full term. B. A loan where the interest rate can change periodically after an initial fixed period. C. A loan guaranteed by the government. D. A loan that requires no interest payments initially. The correct answer is B. A loan where the interest rate can change periodically after an initial fixed period. An adjustable rate mortgage has an initial fixed rate period after which the rate adjusts periodically based on a benchmark index plus a margin, subject to caps on each adjustment and the total change. Which appraisal approach is most commonly used for residential properties? A. Income approach, B. Cost approach, C. Sales comparison approach, D. Gross rent multiplier. The correct answer is C. Sales comparison approach. The sales comparison approach compares the subject property to recently sold comparable properties, adjusting for differences. It is the most reliable approach for residential valuation. The cost approach to value is most appropriate for appraising A. Income-producing apartment buildings, B. Comparable residential sales, C. Special use properties with no comparable sales, D. Vacant land only. The correct answer is C. Special use properties with no comparable sales. The cost approach, land value plus depreciated cost to replace improvements, is best for unique or special use properties, schools, churches, public buildings that rarely sell and have no comparable sales. The income approach is most appropriate for valuing A. Owner-occupied single-family homes, B. Vacant residential lots, C. Income-producing investment properties, D. New construction homes. The correct answer is C, income-producing investment properties. The income approach values property based on its income-generating capacity. It converts net operating income into value using a capitalization rate and is the primary method for investment property. A property generates $54,000 in annual NOI. Using an 8% cap rate, the estimated value is A. $432,000, B. $540,000, C. $675,000, D. $720,000. The correct answer is C. $675,000. Value equal NOI divided by cap rate. $54,000 divided by 0.8 equals $675,000. The income approach formula. Value equal net operating income divided by capitalization rate. A new freeway built next to a residential neighborhood causes a loss in property value. This is A. Physical deterioration, B. Functional obsolescence, C. Economic obsolescence, D. Structural depreciation. The correct answer is C. Economic obsolescence. Economic obsolescence results from factors outside the property, like nearby nuisances, zoning changes, or economic conditions. It is considered incurable because the owner cannot control external causes. A 5-bedroom home with only one bathroom suffers from A. Physical deterioration, B. Economic obsolescence, C. Functional obsolescence, D. Market depreciation. The correct answer is C. Functional obsolescence. Functional obsolescence is a loss in value caused by outdated design features or inadequacies within the property itself, like too few bathrooms for the bedroom count. It reflects a property's failure to meet current market standards. A comparative market analysis prepared by a real estate agent is used to A. Replace a lender-required appraisal, B. Establish a suggested listing or offer price based on comparable sales, C. Set the property's tax assessment, D. Satisfy TREC audit requirements. The correct answer is B. Establish a suggested listing or offer price based on comparable sales. A CMA helps sellers price their home or buyers determine a competitive offer by analyzing recently sold comparable properties. It is not a formal appraisal and cannot fulfill a lender's appraisal requirement. Under FIRREA and related regulations, who is responsible for ordering the appraisal in a lender finance transaction? A. The listing agent, B. The buyer directly, C. The lender, D. TREC. The correct answer is C. The lender. Post-2008 regulations require that appraisals be ordered by the lender to ensure appraiser independence from the transaction parties. The principle of substitution states that a buyer will pay no more for a property than A. Its appraised tax value, B. The cost of a comparable substitute property, C. The seller's original purchase price, D. The agent's CMA estimate. The correct answer is B. The cost of a comparable substitute property. The principle of substitution underpins the sales comparison approach. A rational buyer will not pay more for a property than what they would pay for an equally desirable substitute. Under an open listing, the seller pays commission only to A. All cooperating brokers equally, B. The first broker to show the property, C. The broker who procures the buyer, D. The listing agent regardless of who sells. The correct answer is C. The broker who procures the buyer. In an open listing, the seller retains the right to list with multiple brokers and pays commission only to the broker who produces the buyer. The seller also keeps the right to sell without paying commission. Under an exclusive agency listing, the seller can avoid paying commission if A. The property sells above asking price. B. The seller finds the buyer themselves. C. Another broker produces the buyer. D. The listing expires. The correct answer is B. The seller finds the buyer themselves. An exclusive agency listing gives one broker the exclusive right to earn the commission, but the seller retains the right to sell the property themselves without paying a commission. A net listing is problematic primarily because A. It is always illegal in Texas. B. It requires TREC approval. C. It creates a conflict of interest. The broker benefits from a higher price at the seller's expense. D. It eliminates the option period. The correct answer is C. It creates a conflict of interest. The broker benefits from a higher price at the seller's expense. In a net listing, the broker keeps everything above the seller's net amount. This conflicts with the broker's fiduciary duty to the seller. While not outright illegal in Texas, TREC strongly discourages net listings. Placing a listing in the multiple listing service creates what type of cooperation with other brokers? A. Dual agency. B. Sub-agency or buyer agency. C. Referral agency. D. Universal agency. The correct answer is B. Sub-agency or buyer agency. When a listing is placed in MLS, cooperating brokers either represent the buyer under a buyer representation agreement or, in rare cases, act as sub-agents of the seller. MLS participation is an offer of compensation and cooperation. A pocket listing in which a seller's agent does not submit to MLS primarily harms A. The listing broker. B. The seller by limiting exposure and potentially reducing sale price. C. The title company. D. TREC. The correct answer is B. The seller by limiting exposure and potentially reducing sale price. Pocket listings not submitted to MLS limit buyer competition. Studies show MLS-listed homes typically sell for more because they are exposed to the full market. TREC. Ethical standards require agents to act in the seller's best interest. A listing agreement can be terminated by all of the following except A. Expiration of the listing period. B. Death of the listing broker. C. A drop in market value. D. Mutual agreement of both parties. The correct answer is C. A drop in market value. A listing agreement terminates upon expiration, completion of the sale, death or incapacity of a party, destruction of the property, mutual agreement or breach. A market value drop does not terminate a listing. A lease that automatically renews for successive equal periods, unless notice to terminate is given, is called A. Estate for years. B. Tenancy at will. C. Periodic tenancy. D. Tenancy at sufferance. The correct answer is C. Periodic tenancy. A periodic tenancy automatically renews unless either party gives proper advance notice. The notice period is typically equal to the rental period. When a tenant continues to occupy a property after the lease expires without the landlord's consent, this is called A. Periodic tenancy. B. Tenancy at will. C. Estate for years. D. Tenancy at sufferance. The correct answer is D. Tenancy at sufferance. Tenancy at sufferance occurs when a tenant remains in possession after the lease ends without the landlord's consent. the landlord may accept rent or pursue eviction. In a gross lease, the tenant pays A. All operating expenses, B. Only base rent, landlord pays operating expenses, C. Base rent plus property taxes, D. Base rent plus all utilities and maintenance. The correct answer is B. Only base rent. Landlord pays operating expenses. In a gross lease, the tenant pays a fixed rent and the landlord is responsible for all property expense. In a net lease, tenants pay some or all of those expenses too. Under the Texas Property Code, a residential landlord must A. Paint the unit annually, B. Provide cable TV hookups, C. Maintain the property in a habitable condition, D. Allow subletting at any time. The correct answer is C. Maintain the property in a habitable condition. Texas Property Code requires landlords to make repairs necessary to maintain habitability, comply with health codes, and keep common areas clean and safe. Under Texas law, how long does a landlord have to return a security deposit after the tenant vacates? A. 14 days, B. 30 days, C. 45 days, D. 60 days. The correct answer is B. 30 days. Texas Property Code 92103 requires landlords to return the security deposit within 30 days of the tenant vacating, minus any lawful deductions, along with an itemized written statement of deductions. A landlord fails to repair a broken heating system for months in winter, making the unit uninhabitable. This may constitute A. Actual eviction, B. Constructive eviction, C. Wrongful eviction, D. Quiet enjoyment. The correct answer is B. Constructive eviction. Constructive eviction occurs when a landlord's failure to maintain habitable conditions forces the tenant to vacate. The tenant may be able to terminate the lease and sue for damages. Property managers in Texas are required to hold tenant security deposits and rents in A. Their personal bank account, B. The owner's personal account, C. A separate trust or escrow account, D. A TREC approved account. The correct answer is C. A separate trust or escrow account. Texas law requires property managers who hold client funds to maintain a separate trust or escrow account, keeping those funds completely separate from personal and business funds. Federal law requires sellers of pre-1978 homes to disclose known A. Asbestos, B. Radon, C. Lead-based paint hazards, D. Underground storage tanks. The correct answer is C. Lead-based paint hazards. The Residential Lead-Based Paint Hazard Reduction Act requires sellers and landlords of housing built before 1978 to disclose known lead-based paint hazards and provide buyers or tenants with an EPA pamphlet. CERCLA primarily governs A. Landlord-tenant disputes, B. Hazardous waste site cleanup liability, C. Mortgage lending discrimination, D. Zoning violations. The correct answer is B. Hazardous waste site cleanup liability. Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation and Liability Act holds current owners, past owners, operators, and others strictly liable for cleaning up contaminated sites, even if they didn't cause the contamination. Radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas. Which area of a home presents the highest radon risk? A. the roof. B. Upper floors. C. The basement or lowest level. D. Exterior walls. The correct answer is C. The basement or lowest level. Radon enters buildings from the soil through cracks in foundations. It accumulates in the lowest levels. The EPA recommends testing and mitigating if levels exceed 4 pcil. Asbestos used in home construction is most dangerous when A. It is encapsulated and intact. B. It becomes friable and fibers are released into the air. C. It is located on exterior walls. D. It is wet. The correct answer is B. It becomes friable and fibers are released into the air. Intact, encapsulated asbestos is not immediately dangerous. However, friable asbestos releases microscopic fibers into the air that can cause serious lung diseases, including mesothelioma. Buried underground storage tanks on a property are primarily a concern because A. They reduce property taxes. B. They may contain hazardous materials that can leak and contaminate soil and groundwater. C. They are required to be reported to TREC. D. They automatically void title insurance. The correct answer is B. They may contain hazardous materials that can leak and contaminate soil and groundwater. USTs, especially old fuel or chemical storage tanks, can corrode and leak, causing significant environmental contamination. Discovery of a UST can require costly remediation and affects property value and liability. A home sells for $420,000. Total commission is 6%, split 50-50 between listing and buyer's broker. How much does the listing broker receive? A. $10,500. B. $12,600. C. $12,500. D. $25,200. The correct answer is B. $12,600. Total commission, $420,000 into 6% equals $25,200. Listing broker's share, $25,200 divided by 2 equals $12,600. The listing broker receives $12,600. The listing agent's split with their broker is 60/40. How much does the agent earn? A. $5,040. B. $7,560. C. $6,300. D. $8,400. The correct answer is B. $7,560. Agent earns 60% of broker's share. $12,600 into 0.60 equals $7,560. A seller prepaid annual property taxes of $5,400. Closing is on September 1. How much does the buyer owe the seller? A. $1,350. B. $1,800. C. $2,250. D. $3,600. The correct answer is B. $1,800. Monthly taxes, $5,400 divided by 12, $450. Buyer owns property September 1 to December 31, 4 months. Buyer owes seller $450 into 4, $1,800. A buyer purchases a $350,000 home with a 20% down payment. What is the mortgage loan amount? A. $70,000. B. $280,000. C. $300,000. D. $315,000. The correct answer is B. $280,000. Down payment $350,000 into 20% equals $70,000. Loan amount $350,000 minus $70,000 equals $280,000, or $350,000 into 80% equals $280,000. A buyer borrows $250,000 at 6% annual interest. What is the monthly interest charge for the first payment? A. $1,000. B. $1,250. C. $1,500. D. $15,000. The correct answer is B. $1,250. Annual interest. $250,000 into 6% equals $15,000. Monthly, $15,000 divide by 12, $1,250. A commercial property has NOI of $60,000 and a cap rate of 7.5%. What is its estimated value? A. $600,000. B. $750,000. C. $800,000. D. $900,000. The correct answer is C. $800,000. Value equal NOI divide by cap rate equal $60,000 divide by 0.075, $800,000. A home is assessed at $280,000. The tax rate is $2.50 per $100 of assessed value. What is the annual property tax? A. $5,600. B. $6,500. C. $7,000. D. $7,200. The correct answer is C. $7,000. Tax equal assessed value divide by 100 into rate equal $280,000 divide by 100 into $2.50 equal $2,800 into $2.50 equals $7,000. A rectangular lot measures 125 feet wide by 160 feet deep. How many square feet is the lot? A. 16,000 square feet. B. 18,500 square feet. C. 20,000 square feet. D. 22,500 square feet. The correct answer is C. 20,000 square feet. Area equal width into depth equal 125 into 160 equal 20,000 square feet. The same 20,000 square feet lot. How many acres is this? 1 acre equals 43,560 square feet. A. 0.30 acres. B. 0.46 acres. C. 0.52 acres. D. 0.64 acres. The correct answer is B. 0.46 acres. Acres equals 20,000 divided by 43,560 equals 0.459 equals 0.46 acres. A residential building cost $412,500 and is depreciated straight line over 27.5 years. What is the annual depreciation deduction? A. $13,500. B. $15,000. C. $16,250. D. $18,000. The correct answer is B. $15,000. Annual depreciation equals building cost divided by useful life equals $412,500 divided by 27.5 equals $15,000 per year.
All right, so that's a wrap. So you have just completed your practice test for Texas real estate exam, and I hope you enjoyed and you were able to answer most of the questions. If you have scored more than 75, then you are good to go. You will be able to pass your Texas real estate exam, and please drop your score below in the comments. I will look personally into every comments. And if you like this video and this exam help you, then please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Till then, I will meet you in a new lesson. Thank you. Take care.